What's up, guys, and welcome to Trendy Talk podcast with me, Amy Lauren, fitness girl and health and fitness entrepreneur. On today's episode, we are joined by a man who's transformed his life from the wild wildlife of Magaluf strip to the pinnacle of luxury living in Mallorca. As the founder of Connected Mallorca, a high-end luxury concierge company, he curates unforgettable experiences from yacht days to elegant dinners and legendary parties, redefining the island's social scene. It's Shane Fisher. Hello.
Hello, Lauren.
Have you ever done a podcast before?
I have actually. I've done two.
Have you?
Yeah, it's right there, right.
Oh, where?
I did two during lockdown. I did two.
Oh,
Yeah.
like so online.
Yeah.
But this is the
Two pieces.
first.
But I've never sat in a studio.
This is the studio.
So yeah, it was like
This is
cold.
the Trendy Talk headquarters.
So don't worry, this is the first official.
Okay, first official. That's fine.
I
That's
could see
fine.
he was a bit disappointed.
I know. I was like, "What you've done to?" Well, a lot of people will be like, "This is what Connected Mallorca looks like," because Shane is known for the most amazing parties where you can tell me a bit more in detail how many you get on your guest list, but it's a lot of people. And no one is really like familiar with you because at these parties, you're not like partying and drinking and making a scene. You're there obviously, but you're like very much in like the organization and making sure everything's okay and everything.
It's not like I'm hiding behind a mask or anything. I don't think it's a big
No.
reveal, but yeah, I know what you mean.
Your last party was amazing.
Thank you.
At Leo Club.
Yeah, you made it, didn't you?
I did. I made it. I know I'm not a party person, but I was like, we need to go.
Yeah.
And it was so nice because everyone got so dressed up.
Yeah, it was glam.
It was very glam.
Yeah.
Was that like your idea to do that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, I do a few of these events now. I think it's the second year of doing them. And people keep messaging about the Christmas one. And over time, it's kind of evolving.
Yeah.
Well, you've seen it. People make an effort, a real effort. So I just thought with this one that, you know, which way do you go for a Christmas party? And I just thought, you know what, let's just make it. Let's go higher end. Let's go back to a bit of a dress code. And
it was so nice.
We did the black and gold gala, didn't we?
We did. It was black and gold. I had the perfect dress for it already.
Well, I'm glad you did because I had to try and find a black and gold. It was a nightmare trying to find.
I know. So hold on. Question. Did you have the same jacket on as the saxophone guy?
You've asked me this a lot of times. So I ended up wearing this black and gold blazer.
Yeah.
And then the saxophone guy had his own black and gold blazer.
But was it the same?
But we're like the same height and build and everything. So we just looked like it was the same person.
I know.
I think people think it was me playing the trombone, by the way. That was me.
No, honestly, like these parties are so amazing. And you know what? It's so nice that you do this because it brings back like, you know, let's get dressed up for something, you know, and we don't have that a lot here on Mallorca. You know, like us living here, it's just so nice. How many events have you done now?
Oh, good question. We've done 1, 2, 3, 4. We've done 5.
So that's 5.
Now, yeah.
So the first one was
the black party, what we did in Tabana, which was like an opening thing for Connected, really, just for people who we know and stuff like that.
I remember that.
And the response to that was amazing. And then we just and I didn't plan to do any more events, to be honest with you. It was somebody was looking at, but then just naturally people are like, when's the next one?
I know.
And then it evolved, and then we went to Eden at Sonoma.
That's right. Yeah. So you did 2 Eden, right?
Well, I did my season finale that year.
Yeah.
And then we did the opening again at Eden. It's just a cool outdoor venue.
It's a really nice one. It is super cool. But apart from events, the thousands of people that do go to them, Shane is in the most amazing concierge service. And I was thinking about this. I think I might have been like your first client.
No, I know my first client was, but you wasn't far off.
Okay, I wasn't
far off. Yeah.
I was part of the making.
I'll tell you what you probably was. Maybe first event.
Yeah.
Maybe the first event, like first sort of party.
It was so great. So basically, I was going through a hard time in my life and I just wanted to get my girls together. And I wanted to have like a retreat day turned into party.
Yeah, it was a very random request. That was the first time I met you. I remember.
Yeah, you were like, okay, so what is it you want me to do? And Shane got me the most amazing villa. I'm gonna put in actually like videos of the time with the girls. And we had like we started off with yoga, then we did with Amy Rushworth, like a kind of women's circle.
Crystals and
Yeah, we did crystals and cards and all this stuff. And then we had a DJ, a cocktail guy. You'd bus us, come and pick us up. We went down to Portals. We came back to the house.
with your chef in there, didn't you?
We had a chef in it. It was great.
Mm.
Who was the chef?
It was a guy you knew.
It
Somebody
was a
you
guy
knew.
that you knew. Oh yes. I can't remember. I can't remember his name, but yeah, that was right.
Yeah, I
It was
remember
really
you
good.
coming to us with that request and me just thinking, like, well, what is she talking about here? Because the whole idea was like, can we say the name of it or not?
It was called a fuck you
Yeah,
party.
which is random in itself.
It was called a fuck you
So
party.
I'm thinking, what the hell am I doing? And then I don't know if you remember, but you was like, you messaged me on Instagram, come and meet me, I want to chat to you about things. And then I was sat waiting for you in Coco's on it, and you was late.
Yep.
And I remember, so I was very nearly, I was like, listen, I'm busy, I'm going. And your mum's going, she's always late. And I was like, and then
Yes, it was crazy times, but it was so nice. So, but also it's so nice. Like Shane is so like detailed and organized, and he was also like, "Do you want me there for the day, like helping you set up and everything?" And it went so great. We had such an amazing day, you know.
Yeah, it was good. No,
It
it was
was
cool,
good.
and then the villa's amazing.
So tell us a little bit about your journey, about how you started Connected Mallorca. So you obviously, well, for those that don't know, started off in Magashaga.
When I was first here.
Yes.
Yeah. Came way back when I came on a lad's holiday in 1999.
Okay.
Yes, last century. That's how old I am. So yeah, I only came for a 2-week holiday. I just came on a boys' holiday. Went to Magaluf, stayed in like it's a hostel, I think. Now it's Gillen Gabada in Palmanova. 24 lads that we play football with. And I got offered a job really randomly. I don't know if we've got time to tell that story, but really randomly, a real sliding doors sort of moment. And I ended up taking that job. All the lads left the island, and I stayed, and I've been
That's
here ever
so nuts.
since. So I had no intention of working here because don't forget that's pre-social media, no
So were you going
Instagram.
like out on the strip and stuff
What
when you were with your guy
every
friends?
night we'd spent 2 weeks solid going out every single night because I was 19 years old, and that's what everybody, that's what we did. We did Cavalos in I think 97, Falaraki in 98. So you come, but then at that age, all you're looking forward to is that holiday.
Yeah.
And there's always like the funny thing was you have a couple of lads where they're ready to go home and they're like, yeah, that sounds a bit homesick, and I just every single holiday I ever went on, I was devastated to be leaving. And this one I was just like, why am I leaving?
So what was your first job then in Magaluf?
There's a nightclub called Boomerang, and this was why it was so random. It was only because we was out in one bar.
Yeah.
I went to toilet,
Mm-hmm.
lost all the lads when I came out, but I knew they'd gone either to, at the time it was Car Wash down in Magaluf, which is next to Bananas.
Yes, I remember this.
So they'd gone that way, or they'd gone to Boomerang, and this is where I call it the sliding door moment. And I was like, well, because we've been going in these places every night, so I was like, maybe they've gone to Boomerang. So I walked down to Boomerang. I'm trying to get a quick version. So as I'm walking in, there's a little Spanish guy at the door, and I'm 19. I just want to get in your club. That's what I'm thinking. I'm very baby face at the time. And I just want to get in, and the doorman has stood there, and this Spanish guy stops me. And he went, hey, where are you working? And I was like,
nowhere.
I'm working. And I'm thinking, I work at McDonald's. Like, why? You know what I mean? Because my part-time job was working at McDonald's. And he was like, no, I know you. Where are you working in Magaluf? And I was like, I'm on holiday. Like, I didn't know what he was talking about. And he was like, you like it here? And I was like, yeah, I love it. And I'm just thinking, just let me in the club. Like, I'm thinking, is this how you get in? Like, I'm getting like an inquisition. And what it was he had 2 staff that was stealing. This was peak season.
Okay.
And he needed to recruit staff, but nobody was asking. So he stood at the top of the stairs trying to find staff.
Oh.
And because we'd been going in there, he thought he recognised me.
Oh.
And where the conversation went was literally no more than, well, if you like it here, I'll give you a job and I'll give you an apartment. And I'm like, just let me in your club. Like, I'm like, I love it, but I'm going home on Tuesday. Thanks anyway. Can I go in now? And the doorman like laughing, and he just waved me in. Yeah. So of course I went in, and then all the lads are in there, and we had a good night. And then, but it wasn't until the next day I woke up, like not woke up, but I'm on the beach down in Palmanova on the front there, and I'm telling my mate, like just casually, like I got offered a job last night, and now and then I'm in the sun, I'm on the beach, and I'm thinking, well,
why not?
Might be all right. Like, so I've dismissed it, laughing at the guy. So I said to my pal, I said, listen, if I walk in there tonight and he recognizes me and says, anything about a job, I'm going to speak to him.
Yeah.
If not, he's just saying it to everybody.
Yeah.
Now, of course, we've walked in it with the group of lads, and the same guy stood there, gone into Boomerang, and he literally just looked through the group. He's looked up and he's just gone, "Hey, can I swear? I don't know if I'm allowed to swear." And he just went,
You can swear.
He's looked at me and he's gone, "Hey," and I was like, "Oh God, do you want this fucking job or what?" Like that, like just real blunt and to the point. And I was like, so we stood talking to him. My mate Paul, who was rooming with me at the time, stood outside. We spoke to him for half an hour. Like, what you talk? And he was like, "Listen, I'll give you a job, I'll give you an apartment." And it was all like, so I'm talking to him. And then what happened was I had 4 days now to convince one out of, like, I think it was 24, 27 lads. So I'm like, if I convince one of them to stay, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah.
Then it was all maybe jobs, girlfriends, and this, that, the other. So we got right into the last day and nobody had said yes. Everybody was like, nobody's doing this. So I went downstairs and I was devastated. I'm packing. I'm just thinking, this is shit. So I went to see the holiday rep. And again, because there's no internet, I didn't know anybody had done this before. This is like now as if I said to you, I'm off to live on Mount Everest. Like, you'd be like, what are you talking about? So, of course, I went down to see the holiday rep and I said, what happens if I don't get on this flight? And he said, well, what do you mean? And I said, well, I've been offered a job where? And I said, boom. He went, oh, I sound in there. He says, yeah, we all go in there. And I says, well, but what? Like, you know, when you don't know anything about what, if I don't get on the flight, am I stuck on this island forever? You know what I mean? Like, and he just started laughing and he said, listen, I'll just cross you off the transfer list, book another flight on, go on when you want, mate. You're all right. Like, you know, it wasn't like pre-EasyJet or anything. So I was like, and I did just from that minute, I just said, it just crossed me off. And he went, you're not going to go on the flight? And I said, no. And I went back up, told Paul, and he started laughing, thought I was joking. And I said, I'm not coming home. I said, I'm not going to go home. I'm going to stay.
That's nice.
Then, of course, all the way it gets on the lads, and you know, fast forward that, once they started to believe me that I'm not, because it was just like, shut up, you know, they're all like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, listen, and then Paul's having to say, no, he's not coming. He's staying. Well, who's staying? Just me. So they all had like a whip round. And the mad thing was, obviously, it was like pesetas at the time, right? So Bob, who's like the older guy of the team, he gets the cap out and he's like, right, you lot, everybody get your money out. Nobody needs pesetas in here. Get your money out, get your money out, get your money out. So he does a whip round.
Did they give you all the extra pesetas?
So they all for the pesetas and he was like, right, how much? There you go. There's your flight home fish. They'll come fish. And then at the same time, he was like, right, everybody back to your rooms. If you've got any toiletries, got. So I ended up with like a bin liner full of after sun cream, 22 paste, and that was it. So I ended up.
That is so nuts.
But that is, and I always say to this day, if I didn't lose the lads and I walked in there that first time in the group, he's not going to pick me out the middle.
Yeah, no, true.
I'm just going to walk in, you know.
That's so nice.
And that was the.
So how long did you work in Boomerang? Because we were recently on holiday together and you said you'd worked at Boomerangs. Yeah. And then I was like, oh my God, I've probably met Shane before.
Probably.
We've all had a Magaluf phase.
I worked in the same club. So I ended up, what the job was, I was working behind the bar.
In Boomerangs?
He put me behind the bar. And the funny thing was, obviously, I turned up at the club with my bags.
Yeah.
Now shitting myself, because now I've gone from buzzing, all my boys around me, to like, my own. And then now it's the reality hits. It was like, have you worked in a bar before? No. Have you worked on a till before? Yeah, I've worked on a till before. Right. Well, if you're good, I'll give you a job. If you're shit, you can fuck off home.
Oh, and I'm like, shit.
No, mate, what do I do? But I went behind the bar, and then it was so weird. I genuinely remember from the music coming on and the lights kicking in, I just felt at home. I just felt
amazing. So what years?
I stayed in the same club for 11 years. I ended up general manager.
So is this from
99?
Right, 99.
99, right up until the end of 2009.
Right, 2009. Now, hold on. Let me just have a blonde moment. What age would I have been in 2009?
You're a bit younger than me.
I'm 33.
Lot younger than me.
I'll leave the maths to Shane. What age would I have been? Hold on. 2009 is how many years ago?
You tell me.
Oh, no.
15 years ago.
Right, 15 years ago.
16 now, 2025.
16 now, you wouldn't have, no.
See, I'm even 12 for you, Lauren.
See, I had my Magaluf stage when I was like 18, 19, 20.
Right.
Yeah.
Funny thing is now, like some of the boys that we hang around with, your Arthurs and all of that, they remember me because they were trying. It's so funny now when you see them, they're all this big.
Yeah.
and go out, and they're all mates now. Like, they remember me as we was the ones not letting them in. You know, they were 14 and
That is
15. The only
so
night they could get
funny.
in was on Halloween because they had to put a disguise on, and
That
they
is
would all
so
try and
funny.
sneak in the
But I
clubs or
do
the
remember
residences.
boomerangs. I would work my way up the strip,
Yeah.
and I would end. You would know it'd be a good night if you ended up in boomerangs, and because then you've made it to the
Well, you
top.
had one because you want to.
Yeah, then you made it to the top. So I did have my
So
Magaluf
yeah,
ticket.
11. Well, I did 11 years there, and in 2 years, I got offered another job to go manage the Red Lion. When Alex from Alex's Bar, he bought the Red Lion, gave me like some ridiculous offer to go manage that, and then I did two. So I did 13 years on the strip.
That's crazy. So how
That's a
did we
long time.
get from that
Yeah,
to now
doing
doing
what I
what you
do
do
now.
now? Like you've
Yeah,
got your own company, which is very, it's nothing really kind of to do with Magaluf.
no,
It's
it's
very
not.
much kind of the, not the
Do you know what?
opposite, but
And I always say this. I mean, listen, Magaluf has its reputation and everything else. But if it wasn't for Magaluf, one, I wouldn't be here.
yeah,
But two, some of the best contacts and relationships I've got now for Connected Mallorca are from lads and women that worked in Magaluf
yeah.
and know it, because nightlife get really, because it's where all the reps used to go, the workers used to go. So some of my best contacts and best relationships now are from people that remember me or worked with me when
Mm-hmm.
really we grew up together in Magaluf, and now they own some of the best places in Mallorca.
Yeah.
So it did play a big part in that. But how I got to now, obviously, I left Mallorca for 3 years. I went back to Hull for a little bit. From that, I was doing like sales and marketing.
Mm-hmm.
Then I came back, did online marketing, got very bored doing that, if I'm honest, but it gave me
Mm-hmm.
a different skill set, you know,
Yeah.
really into sort
Well,
of
it's
business
great. Like you
relationship.
use those skills now.
Listen, I could have got offered a job anywhere in Magaluf, which was amazing.
Yeah.
I was probably the highest paid Brit for a long, long time in the whole resort.
Mm-hmm.
But beyond that, there was nothing on my CV. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like, shit, I'm not going to do this forever. So I taught myself a lot of stuff online. I started building websites. I got fed up. I didn't want to sit in front of a computer anymore.
Mm.
And then you're thinking about what to do. I'd actually penned the idea of a concierge company in 2017. I actually went back to this and found when I first brainstormed it, but it wasn't the right time. I got offered something else, and I was like, And then COVID. It was COVID.
Yeah.
COVID gave me the kick.
Okay.
Remember when we had like half a season where COVID stopped?
Yeah.
Or like it was like with the islands open.
Yeah.
And if you remember, it was social distancing. You can't
Yeah.
sit inside. And what it meant was nobody could get tables anywhere. So your phone's ringing like mad. You know,
Yeah.
as it does anyway. Shane, we've just got to Port Towels, can't get in anywhere. Shane
Right.
can't even get a taxi. And I
Okay.
just thought, maybe this is the time.
This is the time.
Yeah.
That's so amazing. I like how that's transformed. Do you
Mm.
believe now that, because I remember when I was growing up here in Mallorca, the places that I would go out most, I was more like Paseo Marítimo.
Mm.
And I can really say nightlife on Paseo Marítimo is not like what it was before. Like before, there was so many options. It was so packed. It was like the it place to be. Do you think, talking about Magaluf and Palmanova, do you believe that's also changed?
I think it's all changing. I think the Paseo's certainly changed, but I think the culture's changed. I think the people have changed. I think they've changed how they go out, and this is the biggest battle. Of course, Magaluf and Palmanova's changed massively. I think it had to. I think the Magaluf strip is like the final bit that is, as much as, you know, I've got a lot of friends who've got business owners and stuff. I think that's the last bit to change. The Punta
So do
Ballena
you
is the
believe
last
it's
bit to
still,
change.
do you believe Punta Ballena still what it was? It's still been
Certainly
the
not as
same?
busy, and it's certainly not
Okay.
as booming as it was.
Right.
And because of course what's happened is the whole resort's changed around it, and people always said it can't change, and it
Yeah.
won't change because of the people. But if you change the hotels, then the people who stay in the hotels change. The idiots start to get priced out a bit.
Yeah.
And of course, the people with better money that stay in these better hotels want different experiences. And a lot of them, they just don't want to go up the strip. Of course, they have these few months where it's busy.
Yeah.
But the kids are starting to, you know, they're probably getting priced out by the majority of places. And all these hotels, if you have a look around there, there's so many 4 and 5 star hotels opening around.
Yeah, it's different now.
So the actual strip, there's still a load of bars there, and some of them still do very well, but there's a lot really, really struggling. And to me, from what you see, is the ones that have not reacted to the change quick enough. Palmanova for sure. Palmanova is like it's like a different world at the minute now.
Yeah, but I think Palmanova's also,
booming.
it's a bit more like classier now, is it not? Like, I mean,
The
the
money,
restaurants and
there's so
everything.
much, but the property value around there is great. But because the thing is that the basics are there, the foundation is, I mean, look at the beach.
Yeah.
It's such a protected bay. The beaches are beautiful. and again, I don't want to keep sort of sounding like I'm slagging Magaluf off, but the problem is with Palma Nova for too long, people just saw it as like the little sister of Magaluf. It was
Mhm.
like we stayed, 25, 27 lads. We all
Yeah.
stayed in Palma Nova and went to Magaluf every
Ah,
night. So you
okay.
had that crowd going through there, whereas now it is like there's a separation really.
There's more families in Palma Nova,
And Parmano, and
I think.
for me, there's things like you can almost see the change from obviously the hotels is a main thing, but then when you got people like friends who own Cecil Beach, for example, when you
Yeah.
got places like that open, I remember that opening and people who have businesses in Magaluf laughing at that, saying nobody's going to pay for that, nobody's going to pay them, and it's
Yeah.
not crazy prices,
No.
but they just thought it's Parmano, it has to be cheap.
Yeah.
And they did that. I think CISO in itself, CISO, but I think it changed the way people look at the whole area.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
now it has a ripple effect.
Yeah.
Now everywhere start because the restaurants around it start to go, well, hang on a minute, they're full,
Yeah.
and people are paying that, and they are drinking good wine, and they are in. Oh, wait a minute. So if I change my furniture from these neon signs and plastic Coca-Cola
Yeah.
chairs, maybe we can get better people. I think sometimes it just takes somebody to step out
Yeah,
and
yeah,
make a
definitely.
change. And now there's loads of really good places around.
I mean, we're talking about these two places like Magaluf and Palma Nova, but
Mm.
you also deal with a lot of Palma now.
Yeah, I do
So,
very little around Magaluf and stuff because it's just there's not much of a call for it from my clients. I'm always
yeah.
led by what the clients want.
How did you kind of learn? I mean, like, if I want to know like a good restaurant or a hotel or whatever, I'll ask Shane.
Mm.
And you always come out with these like amazing like places that I'm like, oh yeah, true. Or I'll be like, oh true, yeah, I
That's my
forgot
job.
about that's there. But yeah, but it's so amazing. But how do you like build up that knowledge? Were you just like, okay, I'm gonna start trying places, I'm gonna go there? Do you personally go there and try them?
You do to a point. I mean, listen, I'm far from the socialite. I don't go party. I'm very
No.
rarely out on a big drink and stuff. But of course, you've got to keep on top of what's happening. I'm always got one eye on what's opening, what new places are. I'm fortunate enough now that Connected has built a bit of a reputation that people know there's eyes, especially on our Instagram and stuff, and there's a
Yeah.
bit of influence there. That when new places open now, what I really like now is that I get messages, I get invited. Can you come and have a look at our place? And
Okay.
sometimes people even want to talk to you before they open the place, just to get your ideas or
Okay.
input on what do you think. So that's great, and you get invited to these places. But what a lot of it is, don't forget, a lot of it were led by the residents, and residents very quickly learn what's good and what's bad, and you've always got one eye on what's. The thing is, we're always very like Mallorcan residents. We're very shiny objects. So you have
Yeah.
these amazing places open, and everybody's like, "Oh my god, this is what we've been waiting for." But within a year, 2 years, people get bored of it and they move on. So it's
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
difficult for that. So
I
it's
mean, for people that are watching this and they're like, okay, what exactly is Connected Mallorca? I live here in Mallorca. Can I just call Shane up and book me a table at a restaurant
well, you
or
do.
what I do? And I do. Sorry, I do. He's
No
like,
worries.
right, okay, I'm not like your assistant.
I am.
but
I am.
but but like what are you exactly? Or are you more like because you deal with groups in the UK as well?
Yeah.
Like I want people to understand a little bit what can they do with Connected Mallorca?
So primarily, so concierge company in itself is, if you look at it as its basics, is really primarily is for people that come to the island that are a bit unsure of what to do and where to go, or might
Hmm.
struggle to make reservations at the better places. Where it really comes to the forefront now is good with Americans, for example, because Americans know exactly what a concierge is,
Yeah,
and they don't know Mallorca very well.
yeah,
So they would contact us and say, "Listen, these are the dates. What should we do?" Now, of course, you can't just have a PDF where you're like, "This is what you should do," because it
yeah,
all depends on the people. Everybody's got
yeah,
their own version of Mallorca, which is why I like the island. We can offer anything.
yeah.
So concierge is itinerary planning,
Hmm.
brainstorming, putting ideas together, so giving you ideas of how you should spend your time, what the options are, and then of course what we would do is take that to the next step. We can handle everything. It all depends on what the client wants,
You
but a
can
lot of the
also work
time
with residents
make
here
all of
as
it.
well.
Yeah, we do all the reservations, do all the bookings, make all the itineraries, and put that together. But a massive part of our business as well now, which is growing all the time, is the residents.
Yeah,
So residents come to us for the things they want. They come to us a lot when they've got guests. They've got family and
yeah,
friends who are like, they want to do a boat day and they want to do these things. Now, a lot of residents over time have always thought, well, I can just do it myself, but they don't know that many options. They don't know that many
yeah. It's true.
places,
It's like I've got
or they
my
don't
grand.
want to spend the time looking for boats and
No.
looking for
And also,
beach
you
clubs.
kind of want to be like, when guests come here, the hard thing is when you live in Mallorca and you have guests, they think that you're on holiday as well.
Mm.
And it's like,
No,
you're not,
100%.
you know, and it is
It's
quite
tiring.
hard living here as well. Like, for example, my grandparents would come
Mm.
and I'm like, they always want to come, of course, in a kind of highish season. So I'm like, okay, well, it depends on like if Coco's is busy, like I might have to step in and it is hard, but they are
Really
coming
difficult.
and I definitely will be asking you what experiences I can take my grandparents
And
on.
that's what a lot do. And and to be honest, there's a lot of the future of connected. There's going to be a lot of hubs and things to really make it accessible to residents for that. Because the ones who start to understand it, they just become my complete regulars. They're like, Shane,
Yeah.
can you just sort this for me? And that's what concierge is.
Yeah.
You know, concierge is just save you time, get your reservations done, give you ideas. But also the relationship we're building with the venues is obviously we work with a lot of wealthy and high-end clients, and the relationship we're forming means we can ring a venue and say, look, we need your best table.
Yeah.
Can
So
you make this happen?
you
You
can
know,
deal with like transportation as well, right?
everything.
Everything.
Everything you need from the minute you touch down, private
Do you know,
transport, whatever.
you know what you need?
Everything. Mm.
I see it
Yeah.
already for the future of Connected.
Go on.
You need an app.
Yes, yes.
He needs an app.
It's in the roadmap.
He's
Let's
in
say
the,
that.
he needs a map.
Let's say that.
He needs an app. That would be amazing.
Mm.
So, well, I was going to be asking you, like, what do you feel is like the future for Mallorca's social life?
Social life in what sense? And it depends. See, people say that, but you know, social life to a 22-year-old
Mhm.
is very different to what somebody at 45 or 50 wants. You know, so and
But
it
I
depends what
feel
people
like
want to
the
do.
new generation is more like not so much into the whole party thing.
No,
I feel like people are more into like bars, you know, like sunset drinks and
Mm.
stuff. Like even I watch a podcast and it's these two girls that talk about like girl shit, right? And they must be like 28-ish, I think 27, 28. And even they're like, oh, I can't be bothered with that. I just want to go home, put on my pajamas, put on my face mask. Da, da, da." And it's just so funny, like how it's changed.
Mm.
And even like my friends aren't into like stuff like the people I at least surround myself with just aren't into that. It's more about like, let's
Culture's
get up, let's
changing.
go for a hike, let's do this. It's more about like the health, the wellness, you know, kind of
It
thing.
is health and wellness, but also there's a huge thing. It's not just here in tourism and marketing. They call it the experience economy. So people are in like me and the boys, we would come here like we did in
Yeah.
'99. You just booked a flight and a hotel. We didn't have a clue.
Yeah.
All you
Yeah.
knew is, oh, there's a bar across the road. Let's meet there.
Yeah.
And then everybody says you go
Or
there.
like, where's the nearest Irish
And then
pub?
it's just bar to bar. It's true. And if you had dinner,
Yeah.
it was just, oh, chicken and chips over there, and then
Yeah.
we go out. It was just you got to. Whereas what happens at the experience economy now is, I mean, of course, it's led by the internet. Now people can see things
Yeah.
first, and
Yeah.
people are very. So there's two sides. You're conscious of what they put on their own Instagram, so they want to show off to the friends, so
Yeah.
they want to do your beach clubs and nice restaurants. But it also means that they're discovering things.
Mhm.
So it's like you know what it's like when you're in, especially in the UK, if you book something for the summer,
Yeah.
you spend about 3 months just dreaming about it. And now you're just on Instagram every day and TripAdvisor, and they're
Mhm.
looking and they see all these amazing places. So by the time they arrive here, they know what they want to do. They're like, oh,
Yeah.
we've got to go here for these cocktails. This is where we want to have dinner.
Mm.
And it's not just like we want to go there for dinner because we've heard it's the best steak in town. It's because the views are amazing. They've got music.
Yeah.
They've got so everywhere, I think, has really had to up their game in order to accommodate that. And the ones that are not changing,
We're going to take a small break from Trendy Talk, guys, to let me introduce you to Coco's Deli, a beautiful little deli in the heart of Puerto Portals, Mallorca. This healthy cafe does amazing coffees, lattes. It's there for your breakfast, brunch, and lunches. There to cater for gluten-free and vegan, and of course, that famous matcha latte. See you soon. So I think something that's happening as well, talking about Palma, is Paseo Marítimo is making like huge changes.
Massive, yeah. Hopefully
So
done.
yeah, so I think Club de Mar are making a new thing.
Huge, yeah. That's the center of the change, really.
So what exactly is it that they're doing there? Because Mr. Connected
So Club de Mar it's as if you was driving from Palma Nova Way and you would drive along the Paseo in Palma, all the boats on your way. So you go past Porto P.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of that first bit you come to where you get the cruise ships and everything, and you get the ferry to Ibiza. Then you hit Club de Mar. So Club de Mar previously was just restaurant, a few little offices and businesses, and the boats. Whereas now there's just a huge development there, and they've spent a whole lot of money, and they want to, I believe there's a nightclub license opening there. There's going to be, I think there's a fitness center, but the shops and offices, but they spent a whole load of money. And what they're really trying to do is shift a bit, like almost to bring people out of the center of Palma. Because if you think about it, you're always going to go to the cathedral and see the old town. But now they really want to draw people down the Paseo. So it's not just a dead part. So they're really investing there. But of course, what they've also done is transform the whole front of that.
It does look really, it's shaping. And
we've all suffered a little bit, haven't we? And so the business.
We have. And they're opening up a Louis Vuitton there.
Apparently so.
Yes. Yes. I would know that, of course. A little Louis V, of course. I know, I love it. Well,
that's the big. I mean, they're adapting. There's a lot more wealthy clients coming to the island, and trying to match.
And now we don't have that nightclub anymore on Paseo Marítimo.
Social was closed, which was obviously two friends of ours that own that, doing very well for a long time. I don't like at all what happened next. That was a forced closure, no matter what anybody said. And I think there's still a legal battle going on there. But yeah, it's such a shame.
Do you think?
And there's a gap there now. Yes. There's in a gap in that side of the nightlife. We've got a few bits, but with that missing, it affects everything else around it as well. It's not just that club.
Of course, because before we had before in the days it was like Abraxas, then it was Pacha.
Yeah.
And I also seen. Do you know this place called Garito?
Yeah, which was, Thursdays in Garito.
Yes. Yes, but it's shut.
Yeah, everything's just been swallowed up. But again, it's this thing where the nightlife is changing so much, and it's not just. I mean, it's like in the UK now. I think they've lost something like over 2,000 nightclubs in the last 15 years have shut in the UK.
Yeah.
So people's attitude towards going out and partying is changing a lot. You could speak about this all day, but my problem is with this island sometimes is they have this wrong opinion, I think, that the regulations and the music limits and stuff are too tightly controlled. And it feels like they're driven by everybody who wants to drink alcohol and have some fun must be a Magaluf person.
Right.
And good people just want to cycle in Soyer and eat croissants.
Yeah.
And it's like as if there's nothing in between. Whereas that's not the reality at all. People with money and good people, they want to drink wine, they want to dance, they want to party, they want to enjoy it, especially on holiday. So we got to be really careful that we're not just limiting, the beach clubs can't play music over this level, and you can't have live music in your restaurant. It's crazy for me. And I just think they've got to start to understand that. Yeah, I understand regulations, but we need to allow people to have fun and still let loose and go enjoy themselves a bit.
Well, that's why Shane's parties are so amazing.
Yeah, the events are doing really well.
They are. Talking about events.
Taken off really well. So,
are we doing another one this year? Oh,
we're doing more than one.
I think
next one will be this season opening. So,
yes, which I mean, I can give somebody an exclusive because Shane's girlfriend is the most amazing, talented photographer and the most amazing human being, and she
paid you to say that.
Yeah, she paid me to say that.
She is,
and she also does all of our content for both Shane and I. And I have a bikini fitness competition the start of April. So I know the party is not going to be start of April.
She doesn't know yet. I'll tell you that. I'll
right,
be honest
she
with that.
doesn't know yet.
The thing is, the reality is I don't fix dates too much in advance.
Yeah.
Because I like to be, you don't know what's going to open, what's going to close, what's going to be, and genuinely, it's not because I just want to work with the venue and stuff. It has to be right for the time of year, what's going on. So I just kind of leave it pretty late, if I'm honest with you.
I mean, have you thought about a day event?
There's all different things in the pipeline. I mean, like when you came to Eden and stuff, I kind of do them a bit earlier.
Yeah.
A lot of them finish by midnight, which tends to suit a lot. I mean, certainly suits me more because I'm not a partier all night. But then the contrast is, we did one in Amok and we did one in Leo, so we did show that when you time it right, and it's not too often there is a crowd who do want to dance still. They want to get on the dance floor and enjoy and have a good party. So yeah, I think over time, I think these events will continue to evolve, and I think with the crowd that we've got and the reputation we've got now, I have to work hard to make sure we keep it fresh.
Yeah.
And I think I think people have got the trust now. And what I love is that it tends to be that when I announce it, and like I've said already, what I love is people just say, yeah, they don't even know where it is, what it is. They just say, yeah. It's almost like, if Connected's doing a party, I'm coming, which is brilliant. I love that.
It's amazing.
But yeah, to answer your question, yeah, certainly we'll be looking at trying some dates.
Well, what we can do is you can comment down below where you want the next event to be.
Yeah, let me know. Let me know what you think's missing.
We want to know. But
I'm
a
open to
day, I think a day event at a beach club, Lobster Club would be cool.
Lobster's a cool place, but there's loads. I like Lobster. Lobster's a great
I
venue.
like Lobster
what
Club.
they're doing.
They're opening mid.
But there's lots of cool places, and I like to move
mid-May.
around as well. Don't forget, we've got a lot of partners we work with and try and
I
keep
know,
them
it's true,
happy.
it's true, it's
The
true.
crazy thing is now, because we're getting a reputation, now I've got venues like, why are you not using me and all that?
I know. Well, I
previously,
wondered why aren't you using Coco's Deli? I was
What's your
like,
capacity in there?
wait a minute, yeah, about 30.
Maybe we'll have a look at exclusive.
Yeah, exclusive. You could have it
You
exclusive.
can just feed them all the day after.
Oh, yeah, for goodness sake. I mean, at least you won't get a hangover at Coco's.
No, so yeah,
You won't. You're not going to be getting hangovers, even though we do have alcohol, but it's not that type.
Yeah,
So, what is your like future for Connected looking like? Are you wanting to do like Connected Ibiza, Connected Formentera, kind of Connected Barcelona?
I get pulled different side. You know what it's like. You can, because you've got to be reactive to what people want and ask for. I pride myself on being very niche, right? And because I've been here 25 years, so nobody really has the relationships we have in this industry and sector. And there's a lot of global concierge companies. And the funny thing is, they work with high-end clients, but the majority of them, they contact someone like me on the ground. Because they don't have the relationships. They can't get you a table. And they don't know anything. Whereas I want you to message me and say, Shane, listen, we arrive on Tuesday. I'm coming with me 2 kids, or I'm coming with this. Where's good to go on the Wednesday night in this area? I can, in the southwest. I'm not saying everywhere across the island, but I can certainly answer that. Whereas if I start talking about Ibiza and all these places, I don't know anything about these places. But what we do is, because people start asking, what happens is people get trust with a concierge. So like, Shane, have you got anybody in Ibiza? Can you just sort this out for me? Shane, we're going to back, and we've done it this year. So what I've started to do is partner up with people that I believe are just as experienced in these places that I am here, and vice versa. So we pass clients.
Amazing.
In the future, let's see. But I think there's enough going on in Mallorca.
Well, you're already hiring your first employee this year.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of hiring, and we've not.
Also, CVs can be if CVs can be sent to.
Yeah, I've got to start growing a team now, because I can't keep doing it all on my own. I mean, we work with partners and everything else, but it's growing so quickly now.
Okay, great. So
we need to grow.
Rapid fire questions. Oh, wow. Right, we can both answer them. What's your favorite hidden gem in Mallorca?
As in an experience, or just in a general? Just
kind of in general. Like, that's just, if you didn't have to like put so much thought in it. If I was thinking about it, I mean, I wish honestly I knew Mallorca more, because I don't know, I think it's such a shame. Like, for example, even Amanda freaks out that I don't even use my swimming pool. That I haven't been in my
hidden gem.
I haven't been in my swimming pool in like ages. But I think if I was, I don't know, there's a sunset spot in, where is this? It's like near El Toro. And it's like I've filmed like YouTube workouts there.
Where the old military base was.
Oh, I don't know about that. No, but
probably that way.
Don't know. It could be. You know what I mean?
It's a good walk. You should.
I know that the street's called like the street's called Bella Vista. That's what I know, which like makes sense. That for me would be nice. And then if I was to think about an actual place, maybe Cap Rocat. It's like a nice place.
It's just not a hidden gem. That's the thing, isn't it? And this is the problem with the internet. Back in the day, there's hidden gems that stayed hidden. Whereas now people search for hidden gems.
Well, have you seen this restaurant in Portichol that's like you go through like this secret door, like you're going back time?
No, see, I don't even know.
See, well, I seen it the other day on TikTok. Yeah. And I was like, oh, and
it must be hidden if it's on TikTok.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. And I think I don't know what it's called. I think it was like, I don't know, like volviendo. I don't know what it's called. Some Spanish thing. I can't remember. Like going back or something, whatever. So we need to try that out.
You know what? Because I'm getting more into this job now, and I get asked for more exclusive things. I want something special. So I'm getting more drawn towards these kind of, like back in the day when I worked in Magaluf, for example, if I got the chance, my favorite thing to do was just drive off. I would drive deliberately. I would go through Valdemossa get out there, have a coffee in that little village, and just walk around. Drive up to Daya, you know where like Sommeroge is, and you got the sunset place there, that viewpoint there
What?
on the road
No,
up to
I
Daya.
haven't been to that sunset place. See, it's like
Look at that, you see.
I
So
know.
you've got to look at that because, and then the reason I was always drawn to that is because it was 25 minutes in the car, like to get to Valdemossa, and it is a different world from what I was, you know, the party
Yeah,
town of Magaluf. So it was a real switch off for me, and you felt like you were on holiday. I remember I took one of my African doormen there. Very religious guy, monster of a guy, brilliant doorman back in the day. And he started crying when I took him. He hadn't left where he used to get his bus from Calamayor to the club. He'd never been outside of the resort or anything. And I took him to this place, 25 minutes away. Yeah. He started crying. It was just because of the view and he just can't believe it, and he didn't know it was a Mallorca. And so I would go to places like that. But now there's a few little these experiences now. There's a couple of really cool, quirky, exclusive experiences, and if I say it now, then everybody starts going.
I know. So tell me afterwards.
Message me first, and I'll book it in. But yeah, there's some
exactly.
But that's what I really like, and there's some really good people out there creating these kind of exclusive experiences where they don't want to mass market it.
There's also El Olivo, that nice restaurant.
There's what?
Is it El Olivo?
Yeah, I've never even been in there. It's because it's difficult for us to work with places like that.
Okay, well, I've been there once years ago, with Jurgen, but it's like so typical. Like, I don't know. I kind of like if he's here and I'm like, oh, let's go there. You know, like it's really spontaneous and he's also very spontaneous. And then you don't.
Well, it's the thing is when it's part of a hotel, you're always they have to look after the hotel guests first. Yeah. So the actual tables that are available are so rare, and this is why we don't work too much with places like that, because I don't want to be saying no to people all the time. I want the full. You know, it's not like you can force them in. So,
best meal you've ever had in the island?
The best meal I've ever had on the island. We are so lucky here. The food scene in Mallorca is incredible now. I
mean, mine's obviously Coco's Deli.
Yeah, you just Coco's Deli breakfast.
It's Coco's Deli, you know, just.
Of course it is.
It's this beautiful breakfast brunch lunch place in Port House. Owner's really nice.
Yeah, so my answer, seen her? What did you write? So I once went to this no. You know what? I took Amanda for a birthday. I tried to book into Yara actually, and it's the same owners as Farah.
Yes.
And I didn't choose to go to Farah, but we couldn't get the table in because it was like season. I left it so like even me can't get a table sometimes. And the owner just said, you know what, I've got a table in Farah, do you want to go there? Right. Yeah. Now, honestly speaking, when I saw the prices, it's not the cheapest places. And I was like, because I'm not paying for this, aren't I? You know,
you were like, Jesus Christ, man.
And I was like, okay, right, because it's not the cheapest place but the difference is leaving there, you don't question the price because you're like, that's just value. Because every single thing I tasted during that meal, and Amanda said it was incredible. Yeah. So I would probably say that's one of the best meals I've had. I still need to go there. It's just the food, and because I don't do a lot of this kind of 7-course, you know.
Yeah, I still need to go there.
This tasting menu type thing, and it was amazing, and the effort they put in and the presentation. That is a special restaurant. So yeah, that's one of the best meals.
I still need to try that.
I love. Listen, I love. We do it nearly every year for my birthday. We go up to Campeggio, and I love cooking the steak on the stone up there. And
I have it. Restaurant. Oh my god! So we went.
I love going in there.
We went for lunch with David and Jackie to Carnita I can't remember what it was called. It was in the middle. David was so like, he was like, no, Lauren, please, 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 this place, you're gonna.
David knows his restaurants.
Yeah, David was like, please, please, you're gonna think, where is he taking me? Where is me taking me? And it was basically like, you know where Comercial Vera is?
No.
It's like in some industrial estate, like kind of near Megasport. And this place from the outside, I was like, okay, I think that's it. Like you wouldn't even realize that a restaurant's inside it. And we went in and it was the best meat ever. Like it was so good. I ate so much.
If David Gomez, we're talking about now.
Yeah.
If David Gomez, owner of Fit Club Mallorca, get a plug in for David. If he recommends a place, he knows his meat and he knows his restaurant. Like, yeah. Because he never eats in the house. He's out lunch.
But the thing is with David, he doesn't know fish because he doesn't eat fish.
Eat fish. That's about meat and steak.
Yeah. Oh no, he knows that for sure. Yeah. But that's it. Well, I'm trying to think best meal I've ever had in the islands. The problem is like we hardly really go out.
Well, you need to change that.
I know. I really need to like start living.
There's some amazing restaurants here. That's the thing. Genuinely, I'm like, but the good thing is we've got such a variety.
Yeah.
You know, some people love the certain views and certain atmospheres. Some people just obsessed with certain food. People ask for the best paella.
I
And
like,
it
oh
obviously
yeah,
depends what you
paella. I
like.
haven't had paella in years. What the hell is wrong with me, Lauren? I need to seriously start living. Well, I like El Paradiso
Mm.
in Marivent because of the
Mm.
view.
Nice.
It's super nice, and I feel like it's such a
Beautiful
romantic.
terrace, amazing views.
Yeah, I feel like it's such a little like romantic restaurant. They used to valet your car. I don't know if they do that anymore.
I'm not sure. I couldn't tell you, to be honest.
No,
I
but
think
you
so, 'cause
used to
they've got that
go
little parking
there,
space
yeah,
next to
and
them, I'm
like they
sure
would
you do.
valet your car, and you'd feel like
You need it
it's like
around there.
extra
Parking.
special. You know, it's like super nice. But we don't go out so much for new meals, I have to say. And I'm here like amazingly like solita. So
You need to change that.
I need to
Not
change that.
change that, solid.
Shane's like, you need to.
No, but listen, because we are spoiled for choice, and it's
No,
too
we
easy
are.
not to. But yeah, definitely go out and tick some
So
restaurants
if
off.
you
Let's do
had
that.
a day off, how would you spend it in Mallorca?
I touched on that briefly. To be honest, it's not far off what I
Little
love.
day, yeah,
I
day.
just love that drive up to Valdem. I love the whole drive. I'm obsessed. You know, when you drive out of
Yeah.
here, because we live on, I love where we live. We live in Palma Nova now.
Yeah.
Amazing view and the beach and everything else, and I love it around there. But when I get in the car and you drive up to the mountains, you know that Valdemossa to Deira, I just love that view around there, and I just genuinely, that's why we're so lucky on this island, that within half an hour of any direction, you've got something completely different. And
It's
that's
so
what I love.
true.
So I would probably, yeah, as much as anything, just something like that. I would do that drive, switch off, have you know, the old people wandering around the village and the museum
Yeah,
and
I
stuff.
feel like that would be
And then
super
day
nice.
in itself, you just get off, you know, somewhere rise, do the sunset, and then going to Soya. I like going up to Soya and
God, I
stuff,
haven't
because
been
I
to
just feel
Soya in
it feels
ages.
alien to me, because it's very different to where
Yeah.
we live and stay. And I don't know anybody. I don't want to say that in a bad thing, but it's
Yeah, I
nice to
know.
sometimes go where you're
It's
not just
true.
stopping to say hello to everybody. Or
It's
to
true. I
so,
feel like if I had a day
so I
off,
switch off.
I would throw my phone away because I'm
Like you would ever do that.
I know, but I'm so much on my phone. It's like a joke.
Mm.
You're also you must be on
I'm
your phone a
terrible,
lot.
yeah.
Yeah, you must be. Well, in Africa, obviously you weren't, but
No, that was nice. That was. Yeah.
but I think I would just like throw my phone away.
You still bad.
I would like to do the whole day thing. Maybe go there for breakfast.
Mm.
I think they've got a cappuccino up there in
There is, right
Valdemossa.
in Valdemossa. So that's almost like the perfect stop off point. Because if you walk through them cobbled little
Yeah.
streets, and it's just, they're just little viewpoints where you stop in Valdemossa and you just look at it and think, this just feels like I'm in a different country.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And was
Feels like Italy.
it's easy. We all laugh, don't we? We get stuck on this island that
Yeah.
you just get this islanditis thing where anything beyond 30 minutes, we're like, whoa, I'm not going.
I know, you're like,
You can
whoa,
get
where
to
are you?
Alcudia from here in 45 minutes. And
Yeah.
I have had family message me and say, oh, we're coming to Mallorca, we're going to meet up. And I'm like, they're like, Alcudia. I'm like,
Yeah.
mad, yeah. It's 45 minutes away. Whereas if you live in England, you won't think twice of
Yeah.
drive. You drive there to go to the freaking local pub. Yeah, like
It's
everything's
so
a drive.
true.
Where
It's
here,
so
you're
true.
just like.
In Germany, it's the same. We drive a lot.
Terrible for that. But especially where I live now, you can just walk to everything in Palma Nova.
It's so true. I've got a friend coming in summer, and I was like, "Oh, what are you saying?" She was like, "Oh, Alcudia," and I'm like, "Oh, fucking hell!" I'm like, fucking ages away.
My mum came over, and you know what? I made an effort to get her in the car and drive. We drove to Calador. We went to, and I loved it.
Oh, nice.
And the crazy thing is, you just set off within an hour. You just sat the other side of the island, and then you go.
You
wow,
know,
it's amazing.
actually, when I was playing golf before, I would learn the island because every week there was different golf competitions at different golf courses. So my dad and I would drive, and you would like see different parts of the island, and I don't really see that anymore. And I did once in summer. I was like, I'm going to make an effort. I'm going to go to the beach, right?
Everybody's saying it now, and then in a month they just forget. They just
Yeah.
like,
So
everybody says it this time of year, and then they just,
it's so true.
forget.
And I basically was like, okay, I want to choose a beach that's not just like, you know, Portals Beach. I want to go somewhere. So I asked Elias, this guy that used to video for me, and he's always posting, like, he lives the other side of the island and stuff. And he was like, oh yeah, you should try these beaches. And I was like, he said, this beach, you've got to hike a little bit to it. And I was like, perfect. I was like, that's great. So I go there. It's like an hour's drive. I finally find parking. I looked it up before on Google. Oh my God, this place looked like paradise. Talk about hidden gems. This place looks so beautiful. I was like, that is going to be me. I cannot wait. I even went to the Chinese shop, bought a little blow up pillow, bought a little ice cooler box. I was ready. I was so excited. Walked. And I see a lot of people on this path. So I'm like, okay. I get there. It looked nothing like the picture because it was absolutely full of people. And I was like, and it was so windy. And I was like, I drove an hour, I
And what month
hiked.
was that though?
Oh, yeah, it was like summer, you know, like.
This is a problem, and people message me. They're like, "Look, we want to go to a beach. We want a colour, but not one full of tourists and stuff." And it's end of June, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
like
"Look,
go on
they
a
don't
boat,
exist."
go
Like,
on
you
a
know,
boat.
if you come now, you know, we did a visit yesterday with a couple who were looking to get married, so we're looking at all venues and things with them. And they listed all the places they're driving around, and they're just falling in love with all these different parts of the island that they've never been to before. Because you can park the car, all the sunbeds are off the beach, and it's an amazing time to go see the island now.
Yeah.
But of course, all these little colours, and listen, it's what
Talking
it is.
about
It is what it
weddings,
is.
then is that something that you also do?
I do. I kind of fell into it. I'm not a wedding planner, so I'll say that up front. You
Yeah.
know, there's some amazing wedding planners here. I stay away from the wedding day, if I'm honest with you.
Mm.
We can recommend venues. We have a lot of venues and stuff because there's a hell of a lot of people plan their own weddings now, and then they just reach out for a coordinator, but they do everything else themselves, and because they can do it online. So there's a lot.
I would rather
But
not.
I stay away completely from the wedding day, flowers, and I don't know anything about all that stuff. And some of the wedding planners here, what they do, they're unbelievable. They're incredible, and fair play. Let them get on with it. But where we've picked up a lot, I offer something like, I actually call it a wedding concierge now. It's a wedding concierge service. So people want like, it's not a it's not a 1 day wedding anymore, is it? It's
No.
the pre-wedding, it's the post-wedding, and
Yeah.
everything around, especially with a destination wedding.
Yeah.
So I fell into it because people just started asking us. They're like, "Look, we've got 90 people. We need somewhere to go for a drink the night before for a pre-wedding, but we can't just book in anywhere." And they want a minute, and people just didn't understand how it works.
Yeah.
And then I know that the venues want them, but they have to hit minimum spends, and then they're struggling to find the right venues. So I started really putting venues together, and we've got a lot now. We work with loads of pre-weddings, post-weddings, catamarans, and group stuff like
Yeah.
that. So that's what I do. And then we sort all the hotels out for the guests and everything else that they need outside the wedding day.
Oh,
really.
talking about hotel, they've now opened up the new Four Seasons at
Yes, it is
Formentor.
open. Yeah, last year we're speaking to the sales manager.
Have you been there yet?
Not yet, but the sales manager was at the expo we went to in Barcelona.
Okay.
And it's funny, this island, because I know him from when he was at Nikki Beach, and he's
Oh, that's funny because I remember that used to be Hotel Formentor. I need to go and see another thing. I need to go and see.
Well, you've got one opening in our area in Calvi, aren't you? So obviously the Mandarin Oriental is going to be opening very soon. So
yes, I know. I know. They're very
building site.
They're a little bit close to me, and
you'll be glad when
they're like there. I'm very close to them. I'm hoping,
but it's exciting. It's another step in the direction, depending on who you talk to and who wants what.
What's like the top 5-star hotel here in the island?
It depends who you speak to, and it depends which area you go. So people love, you've got Castillo San Vida. Obviously, you've got the hotel, like
you've got the Jumeirah in Soyer.
Jumeirah crossing Soyer for the views and the sunset. In our area, you've got the St. Regis Mardeval, which is obviously 5-star.
Yeah.
High end. I think as the Four Seasons start to establish itself in the Mandarin Oriental, I think people start to up this.
Oh yeah.
The game. The Maricel is a 5-star, and I know people that don't stay anywhere else. But then other people, maybe they say the rooms are a bit small and stuff. But that idea of just being on that kind of pool with the waves crashing against you,
Maricel is nice.
People love that kind of.
That's
so
true.
It nearly always comes down to taste. You've got 5-star modern hotels, whereas people, I walk guests in. And they're always too modern for me. And then you'll take them somewhere else, and they're like, "Oh, I need something a bit more modern." It's down to taste, and it's so difficult. And this is why we get on calls with clients, because I need to understand what you want.
Yeah,
I need to understand what you like.
Yeah. Amazing. Well, I can't wait for the next party, and I can bug Shane for more reservations and more. Give me more ideas, etc. I know. I'm honestly like, I'm just not the going out telling a girl.
No, we'll do it. There'll be a lot of good events. So yeah, thank you to everybody who comes to these events.
Yeah,
I appreciate it, and we'll just keep pushing, and they're going to keep hopefully getting better.
No, we absolutely.
I don't know how we make it better, because the last one was big.
Yeah, but you always top it off every time.
And we've done 5 good ones. And
we always look forward to it. It's like, what are you wearing to Shane's event? What are you wearing to Shane's event?
And I like the fact we've done different ones now in different venues. So people are like, it's not just like a one-trick pony thing.
And if you want to go to Shane's event and you don't know what we're talking about, get on Connected Mallorca Instagram, follow, and then you'll see when he's doing the next event. And normally you put it on your stories, don't you?
Yeah. Just follow the stories for everything. That's where the updates always come out, and with the announcements make.
Exactly.
Get on all it.
Well, yeah, I will put all of Shane's info down below as well. Forget to Follow him as well, please.
So there you go.
Don't forget to. So, thank you so much for watching this episode of Trendy Talk. I hope it gave you a little bit of insight about Shane, about Mallorca, about Connected Mallorca. And we hope to see you at the next one, guys. Stay trendy and see you at the next one. Bye.